Okay, we're going to do this one real quick. This is for Thursday, 1st of March. Composite hit 3,000, pulled back immediately. Kind of too good to be true, but it was true. It was perfect. What can you say? It may start the downtrend movement. Still above the main uptrend. Opened at this controlling uptrend that was good for a long time, as you can see, and nothing definitive yet, but some good downside potential still, of course. 3,000 being key level psychologically, so possible down. I think the Dow also, after closing for one day above 13,000, going to new highs, retreated below 13,000, closed right back below. So we talked a little bit about the squeezing into the tip last night, kind of like back here, and you get this down candle break. We got that from the Dow today, but it did go higher, so it's not quite the same scenario, not quite as weak. Who knows what we'll get tomorrow? May get some snapback upside. The market did finish at lows though, just kind of collapsed by the end of the day. So that's the market. Broadcom wedging along these two lines, completely ambiguous. No idea what it would do, but those are your controlling lines tomorrow, right through there. Those wicks and those tails. Netflix. 115 top level, 110 bottom level. Wicked off of 110 basically today, ended at 110.73. So those two levels still in this gap region of trading. So it could come on back down to the 50. This looks like a cradle over from the 20 perhaps. Anyway, you've got 4 wicks out of the last 5 days up here at this level, and a larger red candle than before. But we had a gap down after this one, so we can certainly go down for that. SanDisk went up to 51. Talked about exponential rise. Perfect, right past 50. Very nice. Came back down, gave it all away, and closed below this uptrend line defined by these tails. So could certainly come on down to 49 tomorrow, depending upon the open, and for coming down further, getting weak. Coming down 49, maybe even fall really nicely if the market is weak. X was perfect today, opened on 28, went just a little bit higher, almost no higher at all on this big scale. Dropped very nicely. This was not a gigantic candle drop, not like this one. In a relative basis, this is of course quite gigantic, quite impressive. This was kind of a half of that, so we could certainly come on down to 26 tomorrow. X did recover a bit in the afternoon and seemed to be stronger on a relative basis than the overall market, as you can see here. So just going to have to look at those lines tomorrow. Here's the controlling uptrend line from the bottom that we broke past below and had a really nice, very predictable fall from there. Does that continue? Perhaps, perhaps not. Depends on the open. This big fall here from some very disappointing pullback after some very strong up action here. Very bad candle. Well, okay, you gapped up the next day. Both of these are subsumed within that range and then just started working its way higher. Don't know that X will have to come down. There's 27, there's 26, certainly reasonable goals for the downside. 24 would be symmetry on this drop here. So if it's really bad, it comes down here. I don't actually think it will have to come all the way down here to 20, 22.20. But you just never know. We'll have to see how big this pullback is from the market and how weak X is. This upslope here is really not a good upslope. It's not particularly strong at all. We talked about that. That's not particularly strong at all. This is a nice strong attempt to go up. This gap up here action was good for a couple days, but then just broke and fell. This is a kind of pathetic upslope, and it has broken it on the longer term trend, as you can see there. So good potential downside still for X. Other stuff. V gave its biggest down candle from new highs, went to new highs just like everything else, dropped back below 118, bounced off 116. 116 is key tomorrow for Visa. 116, 117, trying to get back to 118. Clearly, those are going to be important. But could put another one right on top of that one as well. Come on down to 114, breaking 116 or so. So down for Visa perhaps tomorrow in a nice way. Apple new highs went right up to 550 like discussed last night, 548 something or other and change, 548.58 or so. Gave back half of it, got a doji, big range right at the top of this. Could stay above that, but if it were to fall below there, probably past 540, and perhaps could come down to this uptrend line here. So that could be a nice range tomorrow as well for Apple, if this is going to be a top for it for a period of time. It's probably not going to retrace a ton. This was real strong after this drop here, just put it all back. So Apple's still strong, might channel the most. What else? Anything else particularly interesting? Best Buy gave back this candle completely and more. This is really bad. So you're stacking these big candles to the downside in close proximity to one another in the last 6 days. 2 of these huge candle downs. So I think you're falling below this trend line now finally. You close below it, and probably another big candle down on Best Buy tomorrow. This could be just as nice. Come down here to this uptrend line right here. So we could have big downside on Best Buy tomorrow. Might be nice. I guess it could also, if the market were to regain some of what it lost today, try to make it back up to 25. It's been honoring and acknowledging 25 for a long time. If it's not quite ready to go, this is a lot. Maybe this is too much too fast on the downside, and just like this candle here, it wants to try to get back up there. So you could have a reversal back up there, maybe settle at 25 or fall back below, go past. 25 is going to be important. That's only 30 cents away. That's a nice movement, though. If you can catch that off and open, that would be flat. But anyway, you might get some upside or downside, and it could very well be big to the downside tomorrow. As you saw with this one, upside was pretty decent on that candle, so I might get some of more of the same. But as far as interesting things, I would say that's probably the most interesting. GM, perhaps, if it's going to keep going higher, it's going to be a nice place to pop upward. Don't know that it would be as good as these. This was earnings generated. One of these was. This one perhaps. I'm not sure which. I think this one was. Yeah, this one. This one was the earnings. So not too long ago, very nice and successful. We're still having an uptrend here. You closed on it today, slightly below it, but closed on it. So we get a big candle movement up from GM tomorrow if the market isn't absolutely falling apart. And I actually don't think it will completely fall apart tomorrow. But that remains to be seen. So I think that's it. Cat broke today with a lot of things. Maybe it's time to come on down past 114. The 20 is right there, but lots of things for the downside. Nothing much else interesting at the time being. Home Depot just keeps going higher. Even on today's action, it was higher. So maybe it blasts tomorrow. It goes up past 48. Home Depot will be very interesting tomorrow. If the market wants to recover some, it could fly like a bat out of hell. So Home Depot might be interesting to look at upward.